Brought to you by Penguin.
Adventures in Fermentation, written and read by me, Dr. Johnny Drain. For Orson, who was fermented while writing this, and Anna, who fermented him so perfectly. Introduction. A few meters away from the best restaurant in the world, I stand below deck in a 100-foot houseboat, staring intently at my panicked reflection in a bathroom mirror. My cheeks are crimson, my heart is pounding, my throat is tightening. Tongue pushed out, I poke and prod inside my mouth with the index finger of my right hand. It feels oily, as if my skin is melting. I have visions of my entire face dripping off. My left hand holds my mobile, my thumb poised to press dial on the number I'd hurriedly Googled and then keyed in. 112. Danish Emergency Services. What is the Danish for ambulance? On the upper deck are a Canadian geographer, a Danish food scientist, an American anthropologist, and a bunch of chefs, all unaware of my predicament. I prefer to keep it that way. They've worked at the finest restaurants in the world and studied at the best universities, and I'm supposed to be one of them. The previous year, 2013, I'd completed my PhD in the field of computational materials science, a phrase that is a surefire conversation stopper at dinner parties and on dates. I was heading towards becoming a tweed-wearing academic, working at the intersection of chemistry and physics. A materials scientist looks at the world and asks, what's this made of? How can I use it? And can I make it better? Every time you choose to toast a slice of bread or cook an egg, you are doing much the same. You see, chefs, home cooks and bartenders are all materials scientists, considering what an ingredient or dish is made of and how it might best be treated to maximize its potential. Having long been fascinated by the science of food, I had ended up in kitchens, cooking, for a while, and then not quite cooking in not quite kitchens, rather doing research in the strange parts of restaurants adjunct to kitchens, in corridors, in converted car garages, in former gentlemen's toilets, and on boats. And now my face was falling off. Where had I gone wrong? Several minutes prior, I had eaten some fermented butter. I had fermented it myself and was solely to blame. Death by butter. What a way to go. I'd come to the Nordic Food Lab, a lab on a Dutch barge, then part of the world's best restaurant, René Redzepi's Noma, to research butter. Fermented butter, to be precise, like you do. Northern Europe has, I put it to you, the best butter in the universe, because we culture our cream before churning it. Invisible fermenting microorganisms convert the sugars in the cream into lactic acid and diacetyl, which results in butter that is not just creamy, but tangy and more, well, buttery. It's why it tastes much better than the American sweet cream butter made without the fermentation step. And so here I was, culturing cream, churning it into butter, salting it, shaping it into pats, and then tasting the fruits of my labour. Only one of the samples I made had a deleterious effect on me. When I teach chefs about fermentation, set up R&D labs for them, and run classes for the public, the thing I get asked most commonly is, how do I know I've done it right? Quickly followed by, and how do I know I won't kill someone? The effects of that particular butter and the panic it sparked help illustrate the mysteries of fermentation that often lead to these concerns, setting ferments apart from regular foodstuffs. Although we are familiar with things they produce, bubbles in a pint of beer, and sometimes see them in mass conglomerations, a blotch of green mould on jam or the alabaster matting of a freshly cut slice of tempeh, the microorganisms that ferment foods generally cannot be seen with the naked eye, just like the microorganisms responsible for foodborne illness, some of which cannot be smelled or tasted either. Therefore, without microscopes or lab tests, it is impossible to confirm which microbes have been at play or in what numbers, and therefore whether a food has been fermented successfully. The line between success and failure is fuzzy when it comes to microbes and ferments.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?